In this video, fishing tips from the Fred Hall Show. Let's go. Hey, Roman Castro here. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here and you enjoy fishing, consider subscribing. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything. I thought it would be fun to take the camera up to Long Beach and interview some people at their booths and ask them for fishing tips. So here we go, fishing tips from Fred Hall, Long Beach 2020. Hey guys, we're here at Fred Hall 2020 at the CCA booth, and this is Chris, and he's going to tell us all about it.
Yeah, how's it going, guys? We're out here today trying to get membership.
Could you tell me a little bit about what CCA does?
Yeah, so CCA, Coastal Conservation Association, we're the California chapter. We're a national organization with 140,000 members around the country. We're basically fighting for your right to fish here in California. We're an advocacy group, so we're having your interests represented both in Sacramento along with Washington, D.C. We were working on things like the 365 license. A couple years ago, you heard about the lead ban going on. We had a hand in that, in defeating that. The bluefin tuna as well. We were very, very close to losing bluefin tuna. Do you imagine that, what our fleet would do? So yeah, stuff like that. But that's just one piece, though. We're also CCA National. We've actually made a name for ourselves in habitat restoration. So if you go to CCA in Florida and Texas and Louisiana, they consistently build artificial reefs off their coastline. We're trying to bring that tradition to California as well. And then lastly, the hatchery. Hatchery is is our third pillar. We support the Hub SeaWorld Research Institute down in San Diego. Right now, they've got the Orheb program with the white sea bass. We're trying to expand that over to halibut now. So just in October or November of last year, actually, Scotty Nguyen, Brother Sport Fishing, he helped us release over 2,300 juvenile halibut, about 4 to 8 inches.
So he knows where they're at. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, they're all in Mission Bay. But yeah, so we're actually planning on a second release here in 2020. But we're trying to expand that program to include halibut in the future. Yeah, there's actually a nice little video about what we did and all that on our website, ccacalifornia.org. And please come check us out. Membership is $35 a year. We're trying to grow our membership base here in California because it starts with membership. So we'd love to have everyone join. We've got a special show promotion going on here for $50. You're actually going to get a whole bunch of stuff. What you're going to get is your one-year membership to CCA. You're also going to get entry into our hourly drawing right in our inside booth back there. You're also going to get 2 tickets each day of the show for both Long Beach and Del Mar. We're giving away a 1-week stay down to Costa Rica with Fishing Nosara. Each day of the show, it's a $1,000 trip. We're giving away 1 trip per day. You're going to get 2 tickets as part of our show promotion in that. You're also going to get the CCA Cal tote bag along with the brand new CCA Cal t-shirt. And then lastly, you're also going to get entry into the show.
And that's only for today or for this weekend or also for Del Mar?
That's going to be for Del Mar as well. So that's going to be available in our outside booth, outside. Inside, we actually have the same promotion except minus the show entry, the t-shirt, and the tote bag as well.
Awesome. Super cool. Okay, so we're also doing a Fred Hall fishing tips thing, okay? So what is your favorite kind of fishing?
Ooh.
And what species?
All fishing I really, really enjoy. I would say my favorite kind of fishing, though, saltwater bass. I love throwing the iron. I just love swim baits. You put me on a boat, on the bow of a sport boat all day. I'll throw jigs all day, every day. My favorite color is mint. So that. Okay, cool.
So I was gonna ask you. Okay, so the last question is, for that type of fishing, what's one tip you could give somebody that wants to get into it?
Most people, I've come to realize, don't really know either how to cast or how to cast effectively. The most random tip ever, go out to a field, go out to a golf course and just cut off your hook or whatever on your iron, just practice. Yeah, exactly, just practice. And, you'll be surprised how well that works and how well it translates out on the boat too.
Thank you so much. So Chris from CCA Cal, and we appreciate the tips. And if you guys want to support them in fighting for our fishing rights, check them out. He gave you the URL. I'll post it down there in the description of this video. Hey guys, we're here at Amadeo Bachar's booth. He's the artist that made the great white shark that you guys have maybe seen in my videos in the background. awesome artist, and this is his booth. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Roman?
Pretty good. Pretty awesome.
Welcome.
It's been about 2 or 3 years since I saw you here.
Yeah.
He's here every year, but I missed a couple of years. But I'm excited to show you guys that he actually went through and put out a spotted bay bass. So there it is. Super nice rendition of a spotted bay bass. Super detailed as all your work is. I love it. It's like super accurate. So tell us what you've been up to lately.
You know, just really hammering away for this show right now. And then between that, just trying to get on the water and fish as much as possible.
Perfect. So part of the thing we're doing today is asking people what kind of fishing they're into at the moment. So what kind of fishing are you into right now?
So right now we're kind of transitioning up there. I'm in Santa Cruz, and so, you know, I've been doing a lot of surf perch over the wintertime. And but right now you can kind of feel it shifting to striper, and so when I get back, I'll switch everything up, and I'll probably just go straight striped bass.
That's cool. So since you're going to be going to striper, and that's what's going to be hitting, do you have any tips for somebody that's going to maybe trying to learn to fish for striper up north?
Well, I mean, those fish they bite when they're there. It's just a matter of finding them, and so we put in a lot of time walking and casting, and so you just really want to cover a lot of ground. And so what we're fishing is just deep spots and holes and like areas where we see current coming off sandbars, dipping into those holes and then kind of looking for that. Obviously looking for bait and waves too. We don't have as much bird sign as you guys have down here, so a lot of it's just putting that time in and hammering ground. Yeah, so that's the biggest thing. Just keep on moving and then just look for those holes, look for current lines and disturbed water, and that's it. And cast and bring it in, you know.
Awesome. Cool. There you go, guys. I'm Adele Bachar. Check out his site. What's your website?
abachar.com.
Cool. I'll put that down here so you guys can see it. And yeah, are you going to be at the Fred Hall in Del Mar?
I'll be at Del Mar, definitely. I'll be down a day at the docks too. And so I think we'll come down a few days early and go fishing and hang out and bring my daughter down.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Okay, sweet.
Awesome. Hey guys, we're here at the Big Hammer booth. This is Pete, one of the co-owners of the company. He started this company, and it's special to me because when I first started fishing for spotties, I used a Big Hammer 3-inch swim bait like most of you probably have. So Pete, thanks for doing this with us. What's your favorite type of fishing right now?
Our buzz hammer. It's a buzz bait with a little 3-inch swim bait on it.
Nice.
And unfortunately spotties will not come to the surface. I've tried.
Oh, that's fine.
But for bass. And so yeah, and the 3-inch, I fished spotties the other night over there and caught a few, and yeah, a little 3-inch. So
Do you have one of those to show us? All right, here it is. Okay, cool. So there it is.
freshwater bass. I have caught halibut and calicos on them,
Cool.
like playing around. Yeah.
Okay, what do you recommend for spotted bay bass fishing? Mission Bay, San Diego Bay.
That. It's orange jig head, invader body. We used to make a bait called Margarita that had a little orange belly spot. Got rid of it, and this is the alternative. And the other night when I went out there after the show, I got a bunch of spotties, and this one's all thrashed.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Cool. Cool. And so everybody knows how to get to Big Hammer's website. Go to swimbait.com. Buy some stuff here from Pete. Tell me the name of that lure again.
That's a buzz hammer.
Buzz hammer. Okay, so the
Freshwater bass in shallow water, especially in rivers. Things are amazing.
That makes sense. Cool. All right, Pete, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, man.
Cool. So we're here at the Stoked on Fishing booth, and I'm stoked to meet Shay in person. Hey, how's it
Check
going?
1, check 2, check 1, check 2. Yeah, let's focus. Yeah, buddy.
There it goes. Cool.
Doing great today.
So the theme for today, as you guys know, is to get up to date on what you guys are up to and then get a tip for that style of fishing. So what style of fishing are you into at the moment?
Bass fishing and freshwater, largemouth bass fishing.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The other one would be spotted bay bass fishing, but if I had to pick one, it's bass fishing right now.
Oh man, so I'm into the spotted bay bass fishing. I always have been. I think it's more bang for your buck as far as the fish weight.
True, but if you are throwing a swim bait or a big jig right now for a bass, you can get a really, really big bass, and spotted bay bass don't get 8-10 pounds.
That is a great point. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, so tips for fishing the largemouth bass.
A couple of different ways that I was with a buddy of mine, Todd Klein. We were just worming. The fish's nose are in the dirt, and they were also chasing some shad balls too. So we were using some crankbaits, some umbrella rigs, and then as well as some Nico rig, Senkos, thin Senkos. Nico, I don't know, you can say it however you want. Yeah. It's weighted, correct, and then you wacky rig it. So it's actually kind of it's pulling it, but it's kicking up dirt on the ground, and that was very effective.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. StokedOnFishing.com, right?
StokedOnFishing.com, and we got a great YouTube channel with over 200 episodes, original episodes on our YouTube channel. Yep.
Okay, so I feel like you guys should already know this channel, but I'm gonna link it down here below anyway and put the URL here for you guys to see. Stoked on Fishing, guys. I'm stoked to be here. Fred Hall, let's go.
Thank you very much. Have a good time today.
Thanks. All right, guys, we're here at the Kicker booth with Randy and Skylar. So we're gonna talk a little bit about jig fishing because I'm actually starting to get into it now, and who else to ask with these guys, all right? So let's go. Beginner combo.
Beginner combo. You talking about the rod and reel setup? I mean, it depends. If you're gonna go big, I mean, you want to go with the Trinx 500 and at least an 8-foot rod.
Yeah, I'd say about the same thing. Yeah.
If you had to buy an essential 5 jigs, what would they be?
Well, I mean, you can't go wrong.
Or what's the essentials?
The essential colorways. I mean, you can't go wrong with some of the OG colorways like blue and white. You know, mint and white, all that kind of fun stuff. But if you're going for like bass, then you go with the oranges and the reds and the browns and stuff like that. We have like a senorita fish, the one that we really like. But if you can't pick a color, we have one called tetrafoil, which basically like shines every color of the rainbow when it's flashing in the water for the most part. It's a pretty rad jig. It's like electroplated, so it doesn't chip and stuff like that. So it lasts like a pretty good while, you know. So.
Your favorite jig right now?
I mean, I like the classics, you know, like blue and white, mint, scrambled eggs, stuff like that. But the new Electro series also, they have a sardine colorway that's very unique to the iron. You know, it's flashy.
Yeah. Because it's sicker to fish the kicker, you know what I mean? There you go.
Nice, it's sicker to fish the kicker. I love it. What's new for the show?
New for the show, we released the 5-inch and the 7-inch pickle kick. I have a couple colorways here in my hand. We have like this pretty rad sardine colorway. We call it Sergeant Dean. You know, these are like some of my favorite spotty colors. This is Bay Bassiker.
Oh, nice.
Which is pretty, like, you know, it's that kind of spotty special looking color. I kind of like this one a lot. It's called Bombora. But we have about 13 different colors in 3 different sizes, which is the 5, the 7, and the 9. We released the 9 a couple years ago, and we're catching a lot of calicos and stuff on that. But now we've been like kind of focused on the freshwater with these baits and stuff too. So yes. Oh yeah, the spotties love them right now.
All right, thanks guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That was awesome. Thank you. First of all, let's get this straight. Settle this once and for all. This pronounced
kinetic. Kinetic, kind of like magnetic, kinetic.
Yeah, anetic. I used to call it anatech. So bad. Anetic. That's it. Anetic. All right. We're here with Pete at the Anetic booth. Pete's going to tell us a little bit about what they do.
Yeah, so what our main focus is all technical outdoor gear, and anything high active outdoors or on the water. It's a great piece for fishing. Obviously, the hoodie is our main focus in that realm, with the back pocket being something that's a cool feature to have sunglasses or anything that's a quick stash out of the way. But yeah, the focus is keeping it as lightweight and breathable, but still maintaining that UV protection as well, and then just a comfortable overall fit.
Cool. So the theme for today is what type of fishing are you into lately? And then, so what type of fishing have you been into lately?
Well, a lot of my buddies back home, they're heavy into tarpon fishing when all the kind of bait pods are running up and down the east coast of Florida. It's kind of hard not to catch a fish when you're throwing live bait into a school. So that's, as far as high action, that's probably some of my favorite type of fishing. For sure, you always will have fun doing that no matter what.
Perfect. So with that type of fishing, do you have one tip you would give somebody that's trying to get into it?
Well, in Florida, you definitely need a kayak. So that would be one easy way to stay with the pod and not, have them kind of run off. And if you're on the beach, it's harder to do the back and forth. Or if it moves out a couple hundred yards, you're kind of screwed. So definitely pro tip would have a kayak.
Cool. Are you going to be at the Fred Hall in Del Mar?
Yeah.
Are you going to day at the docks too?
we will be at Day at the Docks, yes, and Del Mar.
Do you have any Del Mar deals? Oh, sorry, Long Beach deals?
Yeah, so everything right now we're running basically at our wholesale costs. So you can come to the booth and get half off. So it's a perfect time to load up. You don't have to pay for shipping. So it's a great time to try anything on. We got a bunch of new products.
New products. Show me your new stuff.
The jacket, for one, is definitely a sick addition to the line. So our lightweight, breathable, kind of on the water focus has been what our base has been for the last 3 years, and this is something that you can kind of keep in your backpack when the weather turns foul, like it often can when you're on the water, especially Gulf, East Coast, where that stuff is just like flip of the switch and all of a sudden you're cold. So that's a perfect little addition to have in your arsenal when you're doing whatever active in the islands or just coastal environments.
Perfect. So I have one. I got it a couple months ago. Honestly, I have the tag still inside because I want to do an unboxing of it or like an opening of it. But I've been using it, yeah. But I've been using it, so I keep it in my kayak now up front for when it does get crummy. Perfect.
No, it's a sick jacket. It's my favorite piece for sure.
It feels like it's made out of like neoprene.
Yeah, so it has a bit of like a rubber wetsuit feel to it. It's a special little fabric that not so many people are really making that sort of jacket out of. So it's nice and lightweight. It's got the fleece lining on the inside, couple deep pockets, and then the water seal on the zippers is really crucial. So yeah, it's a great wind water shield when you're in a pinch.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We're continuing on our trip through the Fred Hall Show 2020, getting fishing tips for you guys. We're here with Captain Bligh from Lineage Charters. Hey, Captain Bligh, how's it going?
Ah, great. It's great to be out here at the show, talk to people, teach people, different things about fishing and just, get people excited about this year coming up. It is going to be a good year. Right now there is a lot of fish down below in Baja moving up the line. First-hand reports from guys moving yachts up from Cabo. So we're going to have an awesome year this year. Awesome year.
Super good. All right, so that said, what style of fishing or what fish are you targeting right now, personally?
Right now, we're targeting rockfish, and then there are some yellowtail right now around, yo-yo style fishing. It's kind of off and on because they're in that spring pattern hanging down at 150 to 200 feet next to the bottom. On the days they come up, we're targeting them, but we've had really awesome lingcod fishing. We've had trips with 15 lingcod for, 5 to 6 guys. Yeah, with limits of reds and chuckleheads. Nice quality fish, so.
For somebody that's trying to get into that style of fishing, what's one tip you could give them?
Best tip I can give you if you're getting into fishing is listen to your captain. If you follow the directions, whether it's me or another captain, everybody that runs a boat, I think, in their heart wants you to succeed. And I want you to just have a good time. But I don't want you to be frustrated with anything. If you fished before, but you've never fished this style, or maybe you've done it a few times, maybe listen to, the way I do it, and you might pick something up. So.
Perfect. Awesome. Cool. Well, it was good seeing you, and thanks for the tip.
All right, buddy.
Awesome.
See you on the water.
Thank you. We're here at the Blue Sky Cabo booth with Chef Lenny.
What up?
AKA Captain Cook. Oh, nice. Cool. So I was attracted to your booth because of all this like big game fishing, and I'm not currently into it, but it looks amazing. So tell us a little bit about what it's like.
Okay, if you have not been to Cabo, you need to go down to Blue Sky Cabo. It is absolutely incredible, phenomenal fishing. You can see some of these awesome pictures, family fun, entertainment. If you want to catch striped marlin, if you want to catch dorado, tuna, if you want to have your fresh fish that you could just caught being prepared in the galley by Chef Lenny, it can happen. It really can. It's pretty cool. It really is.
Do you like to fish as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fishing's been part of my life. I'm very passionate about it, and it's an awesome sport. What a way to travel. You know what? Have spatula, will travel.
Nice.
Seriously, the sea is my fresh market. Yeah. Right? Yeah, that's really good. Don't take that. You could take it. That's
a really good way to look at it. What's been your latest fishing outing? Like, what style of fish or what's the target?
So we were just in Cabo not too long ago. We were at Magdalena Bay, which when I tell you that's a spectacular place, it's a gem of a place. We wound up catching 74 striped marlin in one day. I mean, that's just insane fishing, and that's what Blue Sky Cabo offers. This really top-notch captain, chef service, phenomenal crew, English speaking as well. So a lot of people from the States like to come down to Cabo. It's very educational, and also they get to meet Poncho. And Poncho, we have Poncho right here. Poncho is like a highlight. This guy right here, he will come right up to the boat, and it's really incredible. And look at the fleet of boats. No, yeah, that's really cool. Blue Sky Cabo, they got 4 fleets here. You love it. Check them out. They got a Facebook, Instagram.
Awesome. All right, so perfect. So let's do a since you're a chef, a fish cooking tip for the audience.
A really great one is when you're filleting that fish, you want to clean a lot, and many people you're not aware of it. Clean that outside fish, scrub it, get that slime, get that, the bacteria off that fish before you cut into it. When you cut into that flesh, that knife is going, you're actually putting in, a little bit of bacteria, what have you, and you don't want to rinse it with fresh water. Fresh water has chlorine, has lime in it, it'll actually cook the fish. Exactly. So you want to basically just use salt water. You can, but never fresh water on that. And take the bloodline out. Yeah, it's all good.
Cool, that's like 3 tips in one. Awesome. Thanks again.
Yeah, man.
Super cool. As we're continuing on the journey to find more tips for you here at Fred Hall, we're here with Ollie from Bloody Decks. Ollie, do you have any tips for us for fishing?
Oh, you didn't say fishing tips.
Give us any tips.
Don't eat yellow snow. Don't take wooden nickels. And don't stand up in a canoe.
Words to live by. Awesome. We're here with Brandon with Go Fish Cam. Brandon, hi.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Awesome. So what style of fishing are you currently into?
Well, I live in Austin, Texas, so there's a lot of great bass fishing around the area. Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. I grew up in Canada, so I grew up doing a lot of freshwater, but I'm half Costa Rican, so I grew up doing saltwater too. So I grew up doing the whole spectrum of it.
Perfect. So since you're into largemouth bass fishing at the moment, do you have any tips you would give somebody that's just starting with bass fishing?
Yeah, a lot of tips. I mean, I wasn't a big bass angler either, so I just kind of got started with it a lot too. So I'm just starting to use how to use like a bait caster instead of a spinning rod, But I would say a big tip, try out a bunch of different lures. Don't just stick to one at a comfortability. Play around with it. You never know what the fish are biting that day. And my second tip is get a Go Fish Cam.
Oh, nice. Okay, so tell us real quick about the Go Fish Cam.
Yeah, so the Go Fish Cam's an underwater camera, as you guys use on your channel. It's awesome footage.
So that's if you guys have seen my video where the halibut are kind of attacking the A-rig, this is the camera I used.
Yeah, so it's super small. For bass fishing, you can cast it. You just got to put a little bit heavier main line on the rod. But it's great because you can. A lot of times when I was first learning, I didn't know what they were interested in. So I would fish in a spot and be like, they're not biting today, or I suck. I don't know, And so now I was able to know what kind of fish or how their reaction was to the lure. Whether it was that there's just no fish in that spot, or is it just that they're not interested in what I'm using.
It's really true, very true. That's how I was able to see where the halibut were. Even though I wasn't hooking any, I could see where they were. So that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. Continuing on with the tips tour for Fred Hall 2020. I'm here with Ryan at the Accurate booth, and we're going to talk a little bit about a yellowtail setup, guys. So here's Ryan. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, how you doing? Good to have you out here.
Awesome.
2020, Long Beach, here with Accurate. These are the Valiant reels. We're out here getting ready for the yellowtail, the yellowfin tuna, the bluefin tuna. They're going to be coming around. We have the Valiant series, the twin drag reel. Great for fishing that yellowtail right now that's going on at the islands and South Rock Pile. You guys are getting into the yo-yo fishing, the surface iron, a lot of that 65-pound braid with that 40, 50, 60-pound leader, fishing a surface iron, a yo-yo jig, even a fresh sardine or mackerel. Going to be a great time to get out there, fish the right gear, catch the right fish. So
I've never heard of twin drag. What's twin drag?
Twin drag is a drag system that works on both sides of the spool. We have a drag that pulls like a caliper from both sides. You get a higher drag out of a smaller reel because you push more surface area touching the spool. So
Awesome. Cool.
it's the Valiant Series patented twin drag system.
Perfect. Cool. That's an awesome reel. Okay, so continuing on with the theme of this video is what type of fishing are you into right now?
Right now it's currently yellowtail fishing. There's been a lot of yellowtail around, a lot of fish up on the surface, kind of breezing around. Guys will pull up on them, throw a surface iron at them. If they're down and they see them on the meter, we'll drop yo-yo jigs to them. Been some quality fish from 25 to 40 pounds being caught right now. So it's a great time to get out there and really start chasing after it.
For somebody that's new to jig fishing or like surface iron fishing, what's a good tip, a good beginner tip?
Good beginner tip for, say, yo-yo fishing, get a good 50-pound reel that you can, say, make a long cast with for a surface iron. That same reel can apply to dropping a yo-yo jig down. You want the right gear ratio, a 5:1 or a 6:1 ratio. Again, I recommend the Valiant Series. It's the way to go. So that's what I got to say.
Awesome. Dude, that was like a bundle of tips. That's like a bonus tip. So awesome. Thanks, Ryan.
All right, thank you so much. You guys have a great one. Take care. Enjoy the show.
I'm here with Riley at the Reliable Fishing Products booth, and we're going to talk a little bit about Reliable Fishing Products. What's up? Do you have anything for kayaks?
For kayak fishermen, yeah, we have our new bag here. It's perfect for out on the water when you guys are fishing to keep your fish nice and cold. We also just came out with our new 4290 for any of those big bluefin out there that you guys are catching. Yeah.
So Riley, do you actually fish too?
Yes, I'm a big fisherman as well. Awesome. Yeah.
What kind of fishing are you into right now?
Well, obviously everyone's been, me as well, into the big bluefin fishing that we've been seeing out here. So that's pretty much what we've been doing: bluefin, yellowfin, all that good stuff.
Perfect. If you knew somebody that was new at getting into bluefin tuna fishing, what tip would you give them?
My tip for someone trying to catch a big bluefin tuna would be I like to use the sinker rig a lot if you're not, flying the kite. So when I use a sinker rig, something I would do is I make sure to drop the bait down nice and slow. And I'm sure to get all the way down through the water column so I'm not, missing the fish. I want to at least pass the fish very slowly on the drop and a very nice slow wind on the way up as well. That makes the bait look as natural as possible. So when you do get through those fish, your bait looks natural as possible, and you're most likely to get a bite.
And that gives you more time in the strike zone, basically, right?
Yes, it does.
Awesome. That's a really good tip. Cool. We're here with Jeff at the St. Croix booth, and he's going to tell us a little bit about their latest rod.
Latest rod St. Croix come out with now, and it's just now on the market. They've had it up at the Classic. It's a Legend Extreme. Awesome. Excellent rod. Fantastic touch. Works great. They're just new now, so if you get a chance, come to the booth. We'll show you these, and if you like, you can pick them up, or we'll show you the other rods that we have that'll match them comparably, and you can find a nice, good rod to work for you while you're fishing.
Perfect. Excellent. So the theme of this episode today is to get a little bit of feedback and like tips for fishing in general. What type of fishing are you mostly into at the moment?
Right now, I'm fishing team tournaments up at Lake Casitas with the ABA circuit.
I know Lake Casitas.
Yeah, and right now, and it's killing me. It's warmed up. The fish are moving up onto the bank. They're catching some nice big ones, and I'm sitting here at the show selling rods for St. Croix. Not that that's a problem, but it.
That's a true fisherman. That's a true fisherman.
Fishing. Awesome. But no, it's a pleasure. I've been with St. Croix for close to 40 years. They've been good. Their rods are good, and for a beginner, we have some of the finest rods they could find. Come in. We have low-cost rods, Triumphs, Premiers. You can start them with that. If they want to come in, look at the mid-range. We have Avids. And then they can come up to the Legends, the tournament series rods. All excellent rods, well built, made in America, and St. Croix, best rod in the world.
Awesome. Perfect. So if somebody that's getting into largemouth bass fishing, what would be like a beginner tip, basically?
I'd suggest you come in. Try not to get a rod that does all things in general. Find out what you want to do first, whether you want to drop shot, whether you want to crank, whether you want to throw a jig, what type of particular, join a club would be the first thing to do. And then find out what you like. Some of the guys will show you what to fish. When you find that, and I would suggest drop shotting because it's a very productive way to fish. Come in, I'll hook you up with a rod. I always ask the beginners, hook them up with a nice stick. Usually it's a 6.6 to a 7 foot. And it's a medium extra fast or a medium fast. And it'll handle 6 to 8 to 10 pound test. And they'll not have a problem catching a fish on that stick.
Excellent. There you go, guys. If you're just starting out with largemouth bass fishing, drop shotting rod would be a good way to start out. So get you guys some experience feeling the bite.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Awesome. We're here with Oscar from Friends of Castaic Lake, and we're going to talk a little bit about what they do.
Well, it's a nonprofit. Hello viewers. Hello Roman. Good to meet you. Welcome to the program. So Castaic Lake is actually north of LA County, just about 10 miles north of Magic Mountain. You can come out and recreate. We have multiple things to do. We have power boating. We have it's actually the last stage of the Feather River project. So it's a reservoir that allows recreating, right? Owned by the state of California, managed by the county. So what we do is we allow people to use their power boats. You come out and water ski, you can come out and fish. You can come out and we have a 29-mile perimeter shoreline lake that allows power boating. Can you shore fish? You can shore fish. You can barbecue. You can hang out with the family. Yeah, in the summertime, though, seasonal, we have the junior lifeguard program that operates on the smaller lower lagoon, which is about 3 miles perimeter shoreline, and that allows people to, host the junior lifeguard program. We have the dragon boat races up there. Yeah, we have float tube tournaments for people that like float tubing and kayaking at night. So it's perfect. We have night fishing.
Night fishing is cool.
Yeah, so with campsites, so you can come and camp out. So it's a great little place to come out, and it's so close to LA County. It's about 30 miles away, 30 minutes away. So, what happens is half of the registered boats go through that lake at least once a year. So it's fairly busy, and we like it that way. We also have seasonal swimming that allows, with lifeguards that will watch the water. Oh, wow. And yeah, so come out and visit us.
Cool. All right, so I used to live nearby. I didn't move to San Diego until 2008. But before that, I lived in Ventura County, which is adjacent to LA County, where this lake is. It's a really nice lake. The question is, do you fish?
Absolutely.
All right.
You have to fish.
What kind of fishing do you like to do?
Well, if you come up to Castaic Lake, we have largemouth bass. 4 of the top 10 world record bass came out of Castaic Lake, so that's a pretty big deal. Good, yeah. Right. We have rainbow trout that get stocked, depending on the water temperatures, but annually we have crappie, bluegill, we have striper. The record for our lake for the striper is 47 pounds, so that's a pretty big fish for a freshwater lake. Yeah.
Awesome. That's amazing. All right, so I didn't get into fishing until I moved away, so now I feel like I missed out.
Well,
I have to come back.
It's never too late, man.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Oscar.
All right. Thank you.
We're here with Jonathan at the Launch Point booth. What's Launch Point all about?
Well, Roman, what Launch Point is our campground that we have in Lake Elsinore. It's a brand new campground that we just redid. Have 200 full service sites, water, sewer, and electric. We also have a vintage trailer park that is there. 10 vintage trailers with water, sewer, and electric. And if that wasn't enough, we also have these things called yurts, which are soft-sided cabins. Cool. Exactly. Awesome. And they can be anything from 2 people up to 20 people, and they're all decorated in different themes. We actually have one that's a rock and roll theme that's pretty cool. You have to come.
That's super cool. All right, so our audience here is really into fishing. So what kind of fishing accommodations do you have?
Oh my God, you guys definitely have to come to Lake Elsinore for our fishing. We stock about between $50,000 and $100,000 a year in fish. We do crappie, catfish, bluegill, red ear sunfish, and bass. So it's all good. And actually we do it in conjunction with some of the competitions that we have. There's a competition coming up in May, the beginning of May, which is the annual Dream Extreme Fishing Derby putting on by the casino at $15,000 in cash and prizes that are available. And we also do one specifically for the kids in June. Okay. We've done it every year. It's called Just for Kids Fishing Derby, where we actually block off part of the lake. We do anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 just to fish for those kids for catfish, so they're definitely going to catch a fish.
Oh, that's super cool. That's super cool. What type of fishing do you like to do?
Well, you know, me personally, I do some deep sea fishing, so whatever's out there, it's really good. But on our lake, I love fishing for catfish. We also have carp in there. It's a fish that we're trying to get rid of. But I really like fishing for those two because they're good game fish. Actually, carp is the #1 game fish in the world.
It's so prevalent, right?
It's so prevalent all over the world. So you were asking before what I use to go fishing there. Well, you know, Williams Bait and Tackle is over there at Launch Point, and they have all kinds of different kind of baits for there. For catfish, we use a scented bait from BiteOn. Actually, they're right over there.
Oh, nice.
And there's another one called I'll call it Whoop Butt. Mackerel, and it's all scented. Perfect. And then for the carp, they actually like a dough bait. So I make my own dough bait, which is made from, oh my goodness, flour, cornmeal.
Secret recipe.
Oh, I shouldn't tell you that. But you know what? I want people to catch fish, so it's really good. And then the other secret ingredient, which everybody knows about, is strawberry jello. Exactly, because it helps to meld it together. And you know, it's pretty successful on the lake. So you know what? You ever have a chance to come up and want to have some great fishing, a great place to camp, great place to actually experience. We actually have a baseball diamond in our area. Season starts April 9th. Oh, nice. So we have things throughout the year that you can come down for to Lake Elsinore, come down to Launch Point, stay for the fishing, come for the camping.
Awesome. Excellent. Thank you so much. What's the website?
Oh, website www.launch-point.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool. I'm here at the BiteOn booth with Brianna. Brianna, tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Hi guys, so I'm part of BiteOn, and basically within our booth we sell lobster attractant. It comes with natural salmon oils that we make inside the bottle. We also create lobster pads. So another great tip that I definitely suggest using while lobster fishing is keeping your bait definitely in chunks. I feel like that has worked well for me. And then definitely if, when you're after every round of pulling, you don't want to keep on rebaiting, I love to use this spray just to kind of recharge my bait, and refreshen it up a little bit. And also our lobster attractant pads come with 10. So obviously 10 nets on a boat would be great to use. And it comes with a water absorbent pad, so it keeps everything in there, the salmon oils, and it works great. So.
Okay, so I'm baiting my little cage within my lobster trap, and I would throw one of those in the little cage.
Yes. Right before you drop it down, I would suggest putting it in your bait cage. So do you like to use roach coach? Or okay, so perfect. So this sits right flat in your roach coach. You put in your bait, your chunks, and then right before you drop it down, you spray your lobster attractant. Oops. And and that's your set.
The added benefit of using the scent is that you could basically make your chunk bait last longer by giving it more scent, right?
Yes, definitely. Because your net is sitting at the bottom of the ocean. Lobster love the scent of salmon, and it leaves like this trail of scent for the lobster. They crawl right under the floor bed, and just once they smell that within the cage, they'll come right in your net. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. What's your biggest lobster?
My biggest lobster I caught actually 2 weeks ago when I was tube netting. It was about 7.2 pound lobster.
Nice.
So I'll have to show you guys the pictures, but yeah, it was amazing.
Awesome. Cool. Well, congrats on your lobster. Congrats on your lobster, and thanks for sharing that with us.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're here at the Fishing Syndicate booth with Rick Fuentes. Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself? Enjoying the show?
Enjoying it. Loving the show. It's been fun so far. Got a ton of good fishing tips from everybody. But before we jump into that, let's talk a little bit about, since my audience is mostly spotted bay bass fishermen,
right.
We fish San Diego Bay and Mission Bay most of the time. What's a good setup that you guys have for that kind of fishing?
I'm telling you, we just developed this bass series, Fishing Syndicate, all graphite, super light, sensitive rod, rated 12 to 20, perfect for fishing the spotted bay bass. And also calico bass, even some breakwall fishing for the calicos and stuff. The rod, you could feel a fish breathe on it. When I'm fishing my swim baits, my 3-inch swim baits, this rod's so sensitive, you could literally feel the tail kicking on the swim bait. So I fish a lot of the 3-inch stuff and 4-inch, and also some of the dart spins that just came out a while back from a band of anglers last year. Which has been dynamite lure fished on this setup right here with a little 1/2 ounce, 3/8 ounce jig.
Dude, that's pure gold, guys. Pure gold. This is like our bread and butter, guys. Spotted bay bass fishing. What's what reel speed do you recommend? What reel do you use?
So the reels that I use are 200 size reels for the most part if I'm fishing for spotted bay bass. I use the 300 size reels when I'm fishing the wall and stuff. Gear ratios for me, I personally like the 6-to-1 ratio. It gives you enough speed if you need to turn that head around real quick and get them out of the structure. As you guys know, with spotted bay bass fishing, sometimes when you're fishing the docks and pilings, these fish, although not huge in size, make a really good account of themselves. I've had them turn a 14-foot skiff on a run to where it literally turns the skiff around. So you need a fast speed to get the head turned, especially if you're fishing docks, pitching docks and stuff. Sometimes those docks are only 2-3 feet in between, and you got to get them coming your way. You got to turn that head. That little faster gear ratio and a rod like this, like our Fishing Syndicate freshwater and bass series, this thing will turn the head around and it'll get you a good wind, get them out of there. And that's how you fish these things, really. When you're fishing them on structure, whether it's docks or even the boat moorings, like if you're fishing Newport Harbor and you're fishing those buoys are anchored by blocks of concrete, sometimes engine blocks. Well, that's all structure for them, and you got to be able to turn them away from there. So I usually will fish 20 to 30 pound braid, and I'll use a braid, although super strong, and it has that quality where it doesn't stretch, so you're not giving anything up on the fish when you pull. It's not very good on abrasion resistance, so you always want a leader on there. If you're fishing the shallower water, I recommend fluorocarbon. It does help. You know, maybe a 15-pound fluorocarbon leader. The reason for the heavier leader is I've caught many really big halibut in the same area that you fish the spotted bay bass for. They hang out together. So you got to be able to have a rod that's got enough backbone. You also be able to have a reel that's got enough speed to pick up that slack and wind and keep the fish tight. You got to keep them tight. Once you set the hook, you got to be able to just wind on that fish and get them out of there if you're fishing the structure. If you try to pump them in and drop your rod tip down, that's usually you're done. That's where you're going to lose them. But any of those areas where there's eelgrass, docks, everything's structured to them. Oftentimes when you're fishing inside the harbors and we have the boats that are docked or whatever, the shadow side of the boat will provide structure for them as well. Bass are funny critters. They can hide their eye behind one reed of eelgrass and they think they're hidden. So for them, that's structure. So anything that has that will get you bit in those areas. A lot of it you don't really need a fish finder. For you guys that fish the kayaks and stuff, look for boat docks, pilings, the patches of eelgrass. Some people get frustrated and say, well, I'm bringing up eelgrass, and they move away from that spot. No, fish that spot, because that's where they hang out and that's where they live. Oftentimes crankbaits work really well on them. You know, you have a nice crankbait that gets down there, 10, 12 feet.
I like to fish a 7-footer and a 15-footer.
Exactly. So I have both. I use a 10 and I also use a 16. Some of the deeper water eelgrass in Newport Harbor is dynamite on the really big spotted bay bass.
That's awesome. That's really just like a treasure trove of knowledge you just dropped on us. I really appreciate that. How do we get in contact with you? Are you on social media?
I'm on social media. I am on Facebook and also on Instagram. On Instagram, I'm OG Fish Whisperer. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. On Instagram, and I'm on Facebook. I'm at Rick Fuentes. You could also contact me, or if you have any questions, through the Fishing Syndicate website.
Perfect. That's fishingsyndicate.com, guys, and all these links will be in the description of this video. And I'll put the Fishing Syndicate URL here for you guys to see. All right, guys, we're here with the founder of Fishing Syndicate, Oliver. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for stopping by and checking us out.
Awesome. So, as you know, like my audience is diehard spotted bay bass fishermen, so I'm stoked to see that there's a dedicated rod for that.
Yeah, and so really this rod was designed, the rod was designed really to fish bass, whether it's largemouth, whether it's stripers, or whether it's the spotted bay bass. the guys that know how to fish bass, you know, they cross over on all of this, right? I grew up fishing largemouth, and I always wanted something light, something I would put in like a 100 size bait caster, right? Back in the day, we used to fish, you know, 10, maybe 12, 8-pound test mono, right? Now we got Spectra, we put, you know, whether we put 20 or 30 pound. And so with the RX-7 graphite, what we've been able to achieve is to create a rod. The guys who go fish stripers one day, chase a largemouth on their local lakes, whether they're Castaic or, you know, they're Diamond Valley, you know, Pyramid, any of the local lakes. And then they could also take this into the shoreline, or you know, go fish the spotty bay bass, and they're catching halibut on this as well, right? Corbina, you know. So we don't have a surf rod, dedicated surf rod yet. It's coming, but right now with this, you know, just get our 7.6 MH rated 12 to 20. All you need to fish all these, you know, anywhere between 2 to even 10-pound bass. You know, this will handle it. You know.
So are these available online already?
They're gonna be online after the show. We made a batch for the show, but they're coming. They'll be available. It's only going to retail $250 with the wing grips. We're going to make a factory line that's going to retail $200. It will not have the wing grips. It'll be EVA, but it'll be available.
Thank you.
Coming only at the Syndicate.
Boom. All right, continuing on the journey for fishing tips here at Fred Hall 2020. We're here with Bubba at the Channel Island Sport Fishing booth. So tell us a little bit about what kind of fishing you guys do over at the Channel Island Sport Fishing booth.
So we specialize in multi-day overnight, full-day, three-quarter, half-day trips. Currently right now, the rockfish season opener just started, so we're fishing rockfish, lingcod, whitefish, and sheephead.
What's your capacity?
All of our, it's different. Everything's different. Every boat's different, from 12 to 80. Yeah.
Awesome. They got you covered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And of course, you fish.
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite type of fishing right now?
Right now, rock fishing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I love rock fishing.
Okay. So for somebody that's new to rock fishing or trying to get into it, what tips would you give them?
Get on a half-day boat, give it a shot. If you need rental equipment, you don't have anything, we can get you set up. But yeah.
Yeah, so basically, like for rock fishing, it's kind of a specialized thing because you do have to get out to deeper water. Like you're not going to fish that from shore. So you would want somebody that's capable and experienced doing that and teaching you basically how to do it, right?
So tackle setup, you would want something like a heavier rod, 8 to 12 ounces of lead, and a double dropper loop.
So maybe it would even be a good idea to go on a charter, like a half day, just so you get a feel for the equipment, what it feels like, what you'll need to buy down the road, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, just to give it a shot.
Before we go, give us your website, URL, or social media stuff.
Yeah. So our website is www.ciscos.com, CISCOS.com. Our social media is CI Sport Fishing.
Awesome. Thank you.
You can find us on Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram, Facebook. All right, cool. All right, guys, we're back here at Fred Hall 2020. And we're still in pursuit of getting you guys some fishing tips. So we're here with Garrett at the owner booth. Garrett, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I'm excited to be here. I haven't been here for like 3 years, so today's like catching up with everybody and trying to get some tips for the guys watching at home. So what's the latest thing that you promoting here for the show today?
I'm a saltwater bass fisherman. I compete against a lot of saltwater bass anglers on the saltwater bass series. And one thing that we do a lot of, we fish a lot of hard baits. And hard baits, they normally come with treble hooks. And we fish a lot in the kelp, so we need to replace those treble hooks. So one option that we have is the Zowire single replacement hook.
This lines up perfectly with what I do too, so this is great.
Yeah, we can replace the treble hooks with the single replacement hook. That way it doesn't snag on the kelp as much. And these have a bigger gap. We can hold on to the fish a little better when they bite.
Perfect. And the eyelet is arranged in a way that it hangs the right way, not sideways. Because if you use the other kind of hooks, it won't hang right.
Absolutely. These are designed to be replacement hooks. These are not regular single hooks. These are replacement hooks.
So most of the guys that watch my channel fish from shore or from kayaks. And we do spotted bay bass, mostly like inshore, like San Diego Bay, Mission Bay.
Okay.
So any tips for catching that fat spotty?
You know what? Spotties love to live on the bottom. Fish slow, fish a swim bait. A swim bait that we like to fish a lot is a Mega Bass Dark Sleeper. I'm sure it's not a secret anymore. There's always crankbaits. Crankbaits, we tend to like to fish it kind of fast. We like to do a quick sweep on the crankbait, and it's more of a reaction bite. So definitely summertime fish the crankbait, wintertime fish the dark sleeper.
So you get it down there at depth, and then you sweep it, pause it for a little bit?
You can pause it. It depends on what they want. Sometimes they do want it. They want a little pause. Sometimes they want a fast wind. So let the fish dictate what they want. So.
Perfect. Awesome. Cool. So owner, of course, are on Instagram. Just give us your Instagram and website.
My Instagram handle is Miyagi_Flukester, and the website is ownerhooks.com.
Awesome. Thank you. We're here at the Scout Inflatables booth with Mike. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So Mike works here. They make these great inflatables. It's a good option to get offshore and it's a good option to get off the shore and fish on the water. So Mike, tell us a little bit about your inflatables.
Yeah, well, it's a great little vessel. You know, it's a nice little transition if you want a little bit more mobility, you know, and comfort. So my evolution started with the belly boat, and then I moved to the kayak, and then graduated ultimately to the Scout. You know, which is a great little boat. It's a little power boat to get the job done. You know, and you know, we've got the 365. You know, and which can cater to 2 adults. Correct. You know, and then if you want a little bit more leg room, you go to the 430, and it's 14 feet long, and it definitely can suit all your needs. You know, so you can catch fish and enjoy the day in the water.
Perfect. I like to, as you guys know, I like to free dive as well. So it looks like it'd make a good dive platform.
It is, you know, and a lot of people use it for many different applications, you know, whether you're diving or spearfishing, you know, and a lot of guys, some guys will even go out in Long Beach and go for some spiny lobster, you know. I personally love to go fly fishing on it. I think it's a great platform because it just gives me that ease and comfort, and you can stand, yeah. So it's really stable, especially with a little stabilized bar that we provide for the boat. But in reality, it's an open plate, you know, so you can do what you choose that caters to your needs, right. You know. But it's a very capable boat.
Customize it to whatever your type of fishing you're doing. Exactly. Cool. So speaking of the type of fishing you're doing, what kind of fishing are you into right now?
Right now, I'm predominantly fly fishing. You know, I really love the sport. You know, it's a great challenge. I love tying the flies, matching the hatch. You know, and chasing down fish. It's a very visual type fishing type too. You know, but of course, I like the good old fashioned. You know, throwing a long rod with an iron at yellowtail too. You know, like everyone else does in Southern California. Yeah. But for me, yeah, fly fishing is where it's at. You know, because I feel like, you know, these fish are a puzzle, and I like figuring out. You know, so yeah.
You're like the first person that's like used the puzzle analogy. I use that analogy all the time. I like that. That's cool. Oh, yeah. That's cool. Let's see. What tips do you have for somebody that's maybe trying to get into fly fishing? Are you fishing salt or fresh?
All the above.
Oh, great. Let's go with saltwater fly fishing.
Well, saltwater, you know, definitely you want to see, you know, what water you're working and see what is the food of choice the fish are eating in that area, you know. So, of course, you always hear match to hatch. It's part of the language you'll hear when you're in fly fishing world, you know. But I've always learned, fishing throughout my life, less is always more. You know, so, you know, you're going to think like, oh, you want a big meaty piece of, you know, something, you know, that's going to attract the big fish. Honestly, if you see what they're actually eating, they're eating small fish in high quantities. So I always find the smaller the fly, the more fish I catch. It's like throwing peanuts to elephants. And I've caught huge fish throwing the smallest little fly. And time and time again, never fails.
Awesome. Yeah. That's such a good tip. Awesome. All right, thanks, Mike.
Absolutely. Pleasure.
Oh, wait up. Hold on, Mike, before we go. Give us the URL for Scout Inflatables.
I'm sorry?
Website or social media accounts?
Yes, so go to scoutinflatables.com, and there you can find an array of boats and accessories and happy people like me that'll be happy to help you out, get you in.
Are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram. You can follow me on Silva Scales and Tails. I'm a 100-ton licensed captain, you know, so there you can see my adventures, you know, and chasing down, you know, everything that swims in the ocean.
Where are you based? Where do you mostly fish?
I'm in San Diego.
Oh, me too.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, so I love you know, my home is like La Jolla kelp beds, you know, all the way to Coronado Islands offshore, you know, into the back bays.
Awesome. Most of us like to fish San Diego Bay, Mission Bay for less spotties, so yeah, we're there.
That's the spotty is the gateway drug, you know, and if you want to get kids started fishing, just take them spotty fishing. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, pleasure.
Cool. All right, there we go. I'm here with Kavika at the Catch booth. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm having fun. What does Catch do?
Catch fishing products. It's a hook, lure, and line holder. Not only holds your hook and your lures, also holds fishing line.
Perfect. So, tell us why that matters.
It matters because you're You're saving the investment on your rods and your reels by not damaging them by putting your either hooks or lures on your eyelets or your reel causing damage. You've got setups that cost anything from $300 all the way up to $1,000. So you're using a product that keeps that from banging against your rod or reel and protecting your gear.
Perfect. So guys, like on some of these rods, they come with a hook keeper, but that's usually like either too high, so the iron will be banging against the actual finish, or it's not in the right place, right? So this lets you put it anywhere you need, so that your lure is not banging up against a part of the rod that matters.
Correct. And another good tip for also using these, not only just for your hooks and lures, it's also for fishing line. So you can tie on. Oh, super cool. So before you get on the boat, you can either put it on here because you don't know which hook or you don't know what size lure, or for your dropper loops, you got a place for it. Or if you get chewed off on the bite, then you got a place for your line to go when it's up there on the rack and the line's not flailing around and it's tying up on other rods. So
like I fish on a kayak the majority of the time, so that for me is a good option because it's going to keep the line from like getting all over the place.
Absolutely. Perfect. Yep.
What kind of fishing are you into right now?
I'm into bluefin right now. I've been fortunate enough to get a couple of bluefin this last year that were over 300, and we probably had anything from about 16 or 17 that were in the 150 to 200 pound range.
Awesome, cool. For somebody that's just getting into tuna fishing, what's a good some advice you would give them?
Advice is to just be patient and look at the people that are around you for their resources, and just be open-minded, because a lot of what I've learned that has upped my success rate in catching these bluefin is by connecting with friends and family that you can connect with and get suggestions so that they can pass that knowledge to you, because they've had success with catching those types of fish. Just keep an open mind and make sure that your mind, so that you can adjust accordingly to catch whatever fish that you are going after.
That's excellent advice. Like a lot of the times, guys, some of these guys that you fish with won't necessarily tell you, hey, this is how you do this. You got to be a good observer too, and just be patient and watch what they're doing. That's another good way to learn as well.
That's correct.
Awesome. Tell us how we can get some of these.
So you can get them at your local tackle stores. So we'll be coming to the local tackle stores, or you can get them on itsacatch.net or catchfishingproducts.com.
Perfect. Are you guys on Instagram?
We are. It's Catch Fishing Products is the Instagram. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah.
We're here with Brent with Aquatech Imaging Solutions. What's up, Brent?
How's it going, guys?
Good. Hanging out, trying to get some tips. Tell us a little bit about your booth. What do you guys do?
So we're Aquatech Imaging Solutions. We've been making water housings for cameras for the last 20 years. One of our big hot sellers right now is our iPhone water housing, the Axis Go. We also have our 6-inch domes, which does really well in the fishing industry, because you can get that split shot with the half below water with the fish below water with the fisherman above water, and you're not going to spend a fortune on a water housing. You can literally use your iPhone.
Yeah, I've been doing it with the water housing with like an 8-inch dome, so this is like really nice.
Oh yes, it's a lot easier to use. You literally pop in your phone, close it up, and you're good to go.
So for those of you guys that like to fish spotties, this is like a good. You're gonna step up your Instagram game like instantly with catching like the over/under shots. That's what it's called. It's a really good shot. But do you fish?
Yes.
What kind of fishing do you like to do?
I've done a lot of freshwater. I'm just recently getting more into the saltwater game in the last 6 or 7 years. It's a lot of fun. I mean, recently I've been going after a lot of halibut right now. So, but I mean, going out on boats is fun. It's just expensive.
True. So you gotta get a kayak. Join us in the kayak clubs.
Kayak fishing is a lot of fun. I do need to get a kayak, that's for sure.
Perfect. All right, converted. I was kidding. Halibut fishing. Since you like halibut fishing, what's a tip you could give somebody that's new at halibut fishing?
A good tip. Personally, recently I've been doing a lot of fast retrieves. Just bringing in that lure a lot faster than you actually think, because those halibut seem to chase it down and have been really coming after it. I love using Lucky Crafts, especially over in Catalina and that type of place. Especially from shore, just catching a lot of halibut, just doing that fast retrieve, bringing it in. That just seems to be where I get all the bites.
Nice. See, it's got to change it up. Try that retrieve, guys. Halibut should be fun. All right, cool. So tell us how we can get one of these guys. You guys are you guys selling online and all that good stuff?
So we're actually in Fountain Valley. It's under Aquatech Imaging Solutions. We make these housings. I actually do a lot of surf photography as well. So going out, we go out in big waves, like 15, 20-foot waves at the wedge. We love just taking these out, shooting everything we can, snorkeling, fishing. Just having the housing, it gets you addicted to shooting as much photography as possible.
What's the website?
Aquatech.net is a good place to check everything else out.
Are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Weldon88.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks. All right. I know that was a super long video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got as much out of it as I did. There's a lot of things that I picked up, tips that I hadn't heard before. You might want to go back and watch it again to make sure you soak up all that knowledge. If you've watched up to this point, I want you to go to the comments and type in more tips if you want more videos like this. If you want more fishing tips, go ahead and watch this video next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the water. Woo!